Well, so if your power windows in your 93 and up Ford Ranger are doing this, that means it's time for a new power window regulator. And here's what the new ones look like. I did buy 2 of them. The driver's side is kind of starting to act up a little bit, and it was cheaper to buy 2 of them. Same exact way on the other side, but seeing as how the one that's, the one that's actually completely broken is the one on the passenger side, so that's the one I'm going to do first. There is a little bit of drilling out of rivets that you have to do. It's really not all that hard to change one of these out, just as long as you follow the steps. They are mounted in there with pop rivets from the factory, so you will have to drill those out. That's about the hardest part that you'll have to deal with. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and remove your door panel. Now, from what I can see here, I've got a screw up here, I've got a screw down here, and I might have another one within this carpeting somewhere over here. But I'm going to go ahead and remove these 2 screws. Now once you get the 2 screws out, it should just pop right off. And again, since you do have power windows and power locks, there will be a connector on the back here that you'll have to carefully disconnect. Now, oddly enough, I think the prior owner replaced this thing before, because this is where the rivets are supposed to be. These 4 bolts right here, and they're bolts. They're not pop rivets. And if you look at them closely, the bolts have actually been broken off to facilitate this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do with these is I'm just going to reuse them on the new one. I don't know why the old one failed. Yeah, I was just showing you guys this just in case some of you might have asked me why I just didn't drill out the other side, or if you guys said anything about the other side having them or not. Well, they don't, so unfortunately I can't show you. Now the other part, in order to get the arm off the support bracket that holds the window up, I might have to remove my tape just to let it down part of the way so I can get to it. But we'll see what happens. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect all 4 of those bolts, and we'll see what the next step is. I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can bring the window down just a little bit more. So now it's been removed. And there you have it. So let's go grab the new one and see if the new one even works. So now in a perfect world, you would expect a factory or a company to test one of these each and every time. But they don't out of the factory sometimes, so let's just make sure that it even works. And it appears to. So now's the tricky part, as we saw with getting the old one out. See if we can get the new one in. There we go. Put that behind there. Now I just have to put the bracket back into the slide. Kind of got to do that by feeling. So with everything mounted back in, this bolt right here did prove to be the most difficult just because of the way it was laid out. But I was able to go in kind of through the top of the bracket. Was this one right here. As you can see, what kind of gets in the way is the bracket that holds the window. But if you open it up just enough, or if you make this, if you make the window go up, you can kind of get to it all the way up position through the top here. And you kind of just gotta slip your bolt right through it. It's very difficult, and in all honesty, what's easier is putting the bolt in before you put the entire assembly in, and sticking a piece of tape over it, over the bolt head, so it's not going to go anywhere. So then that way you can line everything up and get that in a little bit easier than I did. It took me a little bit longer than I would have liked getting that part put in. So now all I have left to do, put the weather cover, I'll go ahead and call it that, back on. What I'm probably going to do is just tape it in. Put a few pieces of tape here and there, just so it won't go anywhere while I put everything back together. So now I'm going to go ahead and reconnect these switches. Make sure I have the right ones. So you have your window switch up here. Let's go ahead and put it back in place. Like I said, these are plastic threads that they're going into, so you don't want to put them in very tight. And put it back in place, screwing the parts back in. So now we're ready to put the panel back on. So the easiest way to get your panel back on is just kind of slip this guy through here. Should have just done that from the beginning, but oh well. Wouldn't have had to go through all the hassle and taking off those pieces. Now the kind of tricky part is getting your lock lined up. In fact, you might need to make your locks go up. Make sure all the little hooks are in place. They all appear to be. Snap this back in place, taking care not to break it. Now just reattach this screw. Now for the last one. So now you know how to change a power window regulator in a 93 and up Ford Ranger. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I very much appreciate any of that. So you all stay classy.